Hey, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, and Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the hopeful elect. All right, this will be title of this lesson will be called Conversations with E, or what appears to be E. There's this guy at my job. He appears to be a so-called white person, but who knows? He can be a Israelite foreigner, because the scriptures do speak about people that will be Israelites, but they will not appear to be an Israelite. All right, but anyway, he was just real truthful and direct about so-called white people in regards to how they view so-called black people. Because we was just having conversation, and he was being real honest with some of the things that he was saying. He was initiating a lot of those things. He said something like, I think I said something, and his response was, yeah, because we're told that our whole life. Or he didn't say we to include himself. He said they. He's like, yeah, that's because they're told that their whole life. And one of the things that so-called white people are told is that they are better than so-called blacks and Latinos or whoever for that matter. He was basically like, so I say, dang, so I tell him, I'm like, so so-called black people, we don't sit around and talk about white people to the same degree. Like in my household, growing up, we didn't have no inner hatred for for white people, and me and our friends, and it was a topic of discussion. We would conversate. Now there were certain things that we would associate with white people that was true. Like there's a such thing as white boy drugs. Like when I'm 30. So when I was growing up, when I was about 14, 15, when you start smoking cigarettes and weed and all that, when nobody thinking about popping those Xanax and Percocets and all of that, we would be confronted with something like that. We'd be like, oh, them white boy drugs, or maybe a racist event might happen. You might hear the older adults speaking on it, but not to the level of so-called white people just sit around, and that's and then he told me, let me finish that thought first. They just sit around and consult to just demean and berate so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let me see. I just thought of a scripture. This is Psalms 62:3. It says, "How long will ye imagine mischief against the man? Ye shall be slain, all of you." Right. And on the true level, those people in power, they sit around and they have these think tank discussions on how to further destroy so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and how to further keep us away from true things. Like they set up, like a lot of these people be set up. Why do they set these people up? To influence, because so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who we gonna follow? More than likely, we gonna follow another so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, right? So they put those people in positions of power, give them a little money to help them mislead us, man. That's imagining mischief, all right? And then the lower so-called white people, they sit around and do the same thing. All right, I had something happen to me at this job where I got fired from this job unjustly by a so-called white man. But then I got hired back at the job, and he did everything in his power to keep me out of the job, because the new boss ended up telling me, she's like, yeah, he didn't, and I didn't even work on the same shift with that guy, But anyway, it says, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. And this place is on this last leg right now. A tottering fence, that's unstable. All right, waiting to fall. It's going to eventually fall. Verse 4, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. All right. And like I said, on the lower level, they, that's, and the way he was talking, that's always the conversation. Then he gave me an example. One of his friends was on the phone. His old grandfather, you ain't on the phone with one of them niggers, are you? Like, damn, like, can't even talk on the phone. And then I was sitting there telling him, we just having a conversation. I said it's fascinating how much so-called white people portray to be scared of so-called Negroes and blacks, and I say we don't live in your neighborhoods like that, and most of the time when we are around you, for the most part, our people, the terminology we used in the world is put on your monkey suit. Our people monkey up, all right? They get for the most part, they get to talk when they engage with so-called white people. They act like they on a job interview. Get to using those, them words. Esau, the so-called white man, he don't do that. They go to a job interview, boots, dirty boots, stained shirt, all of that, man. It says they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. What's our excellency? First of all, the truth that we are the children of the Lord, and the Bible belongs to us. And that's what that's how we're supposed to be living our life. But they got like the NAACP, right? The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. If you go on that website, one of the things it's gonna say is get away from patriarchy. All right. And patriarchy is P-A-T-R or patra. It deals with, I think it deals with that word goes into father. So basically they saying is getting away from men in leadership roles. Look, Black Lives Matter, right? Who the head of that? Who started that? I believe it's a few lesbian women. All right. You got the so-called Black conscious movement, uplifting said a black woman is God. All right. Well, if the black woman is God and the black man ain't God, you saying the black man should be worshiping God. All right. And we ain't black, by the way. But these are all constructs. That's part of Esau casting us down from our excellency. Let me get another scripture. We're going to come back to this. Matter of fact, let me see. It's in Proverbs, I believe. Let me see. It's Proverbs 8 and 1. Do not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the places of the paths. This wisdom is talking about this knowledge, the truth of the Bible. That's why we out on the highways and byways teaching the word. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. All right? Because the man is the dominant leader. The man is the leader. Period. All right? And all nations know that. All other nations know that. My boss which is a so-called Edomite woman, or so-called white woman. All right? She about 50 years old. She said, a woman shouldn't be president. Men are logical and women are emotional. Like that's just a fact, man. But but that's part of Esau to adding chaos and adding confusion. All right. Go back to Psalm 62. It says Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They just be straight up lying. Like I believe the apostles. I was watching the apostles of Great Millstone, of course, and they mentioned something to the fact of that that they can check they can do coronavirus testing through mouth swabs. They don't gotta stick that thing in your nose some Egyptians. The Egyptians used to have this when they would mummification process. They would put the hooks in your nose to take your brain out, and I don't know that by fact check. I seen that on The Mummy. That was on that movie called The Mummy, Brendan Fraser, years ago. But yeah, you don't need to put nothing up your nose to touch your, you know what I mean? And I know somebody that had that test, talking about how painful it was. They could mouth swab tests, but they delight in that, man. They delight in lies. You had the one guys of the what was that? The head of one of those pharmaceutical companies, and they was sending emails back and forth about and laughing and making fun of the fact that they've been destroying people with these pharmaceutical drugs, getting them hooked. All right, people, they just turning. First of all, they making exorbitant amounts of profit off these people to the point that and it's harming these people and it's hurting these people. And they sitting there, email, I did a lesson on it. That was either last year or the beginning of this year or something like that. They was sitting there literally, and they ended up getting busted because now we living in a time where the Lord is revealing everything. All right, they sitting there literally delighting at the expense of killing, and that's their own people. Because the so-called opioid epidemic, right? See, now it ain't the war on drugs. Now it's the opioid epidemic now, right? That's affecting the so-called white population much more than the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Yeah, you in public with they appear to be polite. All right, they act like they'll be formal. They got that little the so-called white person smile. You know how they walk by and they you might be teaching and they look at you and do that little smile, that little quick little smile, and it's just cause imagine what's going on in their head. They cursing you inwardly. Who they think they is? You gonna be who I tell you to be. You black. You an African American. You a Negro. You a colored. I actually had a young Edomite, a Sheetamite, a little girl, like she was about early 20s, about 21 or 22. And she was telling me about this story of how this Jake man had a business and it got burned down. And she called him colored. She's like, yeah, there was this colored man. And I looked at her, I was joking. I'm like, colored? Like, this ain't 1955. What, colored? That's what you... Like, colored? Like, really? But anyway, it says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Right. When they in your face. Yeah, there was this joke when I was in basic training for the Army, I was talking to this one white guy, so-called white man. And I asked him to tell me all the racist jokes he know. And the worst one to me, he said, when does a black person become a nigga? And the answer was when he leave the room. You see that? See, all in your face, they smile, they polite. Oh, sure. Oh, this will help you. Oh, yeah, this vaccine will help your child. Oh, yes, this is no. But in their mind, and when they're amongst each other, oh, you know it. For the people that grow up around so-called white people, you grow up around with them, and when it's just you and him, everything's fine. But when you the odd man out, it might be a couple of y'all. He end up meeting another one of his buddy, and then you there. It's like it's a vibe. It's a vibe, and it's spiritual. All right, because the Lord said He put enmity between thy seed, which is the so-called white man, and the woman's seed, which the woman represents Israel, and the Israelites are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. There's a innate opposition that we have for each other. The only thing is they convinced us as a nation as a whole, they convinced us that they wasn't the enemy. Put us in slavery, had us going through what they after the period of slavery, what they call it? Oh, Jim Crow, systemic racism, systemic oppression. But this man ain't the enemy. Oh, it's not all of them. It's not all, it's little things that they put in place for us to hold back, to hold on. Like my aunt told me, and I'm kind of rambling. I'm on break at work or whatever. Yeah, my aunt told me, I told my aunt about the 92 crime bill, the 94, it might have been 94, that Joe Biden wrote that he stand by, that Bill Clinton apologized for, which his apology didn't mean nothing. He apologized for it, but Joe Biden, he didn't stand by it. He said, no, he proud of it, right? Which saw the incarceration of so-called black Americans increased by 100%. And my aunt, we was just talking about it, prior to the elections or whatever. And she was just ready for forgiveness. Well, you know what? We need to forgive and just be so ready to forgive these people. But they don't forgive nothing. Y'all, our people ain't forgave R. Kelly. Our people ain't forgave Bill Cosby. We don't even know if none of that stuff's true, but that's what they put on CNN, and that's what they put in our face, and that's what they told us to be angry at. And our people just ate it up. Verse 5, my soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is for him. That's why we need the Lord to come back, man. To get rid of our people want equality. You think you're gonna co-rule with this man? That is insanity. You've been trying to do that since the 60s, since the civil rights, and it still ain't happened. That's called insanity, right? Ain't that what they say insanity is? You're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. They shoot us where we wearing suits and ties. They done shot us whether we sagging. They shoot children, women, old people. None of that. That's why we need the Lord to come back. All right. It says, verse 6, he only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. Because you can't defend yourself. You can't defend yourself against this person. You can follow all the laws you want to follow. You can go to school. You can wear your suit and tie. You can get your shave your head bald and shave your face naked. All right, and don't use no ebonics. Use proper vernacular. Eat your steak medium rare. When you go out to eat your food medium rare. You can do all of that, but guess what? When the police get behind you, guess what? To them, you just a nigga in a suit. And you still get scared. You ain't got no assurance of your life. Like the scriptures say that. We under the curses right now. So we got to wait for the Lord to lift these curses off us totally and defend us. Okay, ain't no militia, ain't no black militia. You're gonna do a couple of black so-called black veterans gonna get together and what you gonna do? Fight? You gonna fight oppression? This man got a whole army. This man got 800 army, I think somewhere around 800 army bases all across the world. Verse it says, he is my defense, I shall not be moved. See, trusting in other stuff, that it'll fail. It can be moved. It ain't stable. The Lord, trusting in the Lord is a stable defense. It's been tried and tested again and again. All right. Like the scripture in Psalm 12:6 says, the words of the Lord is pure, tried in the furnace 7 times. And that word tried is proven, tested. It says, in the Most High is my salvation and my glory. We don't glory in this so-called education you get. You get you try to tell somebody something. You ain't got no degree. You ain't got no. We don't glory in whatever beauty we might have. You know, a lot of people can't stay in the mirror, can't stay out the mirror, always fixing themselves, always, just, we don't glory in our beauty. We don't glory in our money. All right. It says, the rock of my strength and my refuge is in the Most High. Right. There's a scripture in Jeremiah which says, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, nor the strong man in their strength, but let him that glory in this, that he knoweth me, and I execute righteousness in the earth. So that's what we glory in. We glory in that, knowing that as long as we continue doing what we're doing and waiting on the Lord, that he gonna come back and execute righteousness. And part of righteousness is vengeance. Ain't none of our people mad. Ain't nobody mad. You don't want to see the things that's been happening to your people to be reversed and to happen to them. But let it be somebody else. Let a so-called Negro do something to another so-called Negro. Oh, it's a blood feud. Oh, the family's gonna be into it. It's gonna trickle down. It says, verse 8, trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. The Most High is a refuge for us. And that us is the children of Israel.